Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up domain mapping for your ILN blog. Now, domain mapping is different than domain forwarding. When you forward the domain, then the user's browser is actually redirected from the domain that you give them to a new different domain. With domain mapping, which I'm going to show you how to set up here, the user will actually be taken to the domain that you give them, and then all the links, everything inside the source code, everything is going to be linked to that domain. So they will never be redirected to another URL. They will never know that your website is hosted on internetlifestylenetwork.com. They'll never know any of that stuff. So I'm going to show you how to set that up. So I'm going to use GoDaddy as an example. It's by far the most popular domain registrar that our customers and our members use, and I use it myself. So I have details written out up here on this page. Right up top it says domain mapping is an advanced setting. If not set up correctly, you will not be able to access your ILN blog. So it's extremely important that if you're going to set this up, that you go through each step very carefully and you watch this video very carefully and do it exactly like I say, because if you don't, then you won't be able to get into your blog, and then you're going to have to contact our support team and they're going to have to let you in. So what's really cool about our domain mapping setup is that you can actually map several domains to a single blog. So cliftonscott.com, if I go ahead and open that up, so if I open this up, you can see it's just linked to my test blog. It's got a lot of stuff on there. And if I go ahead and let's go back here, let me go ahead and open up theblogger.com. And you can see it is the exact same website. If I make a change to one, it updates on the other. It's the exact same website. The only difference is the URL or the domain up here up top. So you can see cliftonscott.com. If I go over here, theblogger.com. So even when clicking on the link, so if I click on this first blog post, you can see it still says theblogger.com and then the slug right here. If I go over to cliftonscott.com, I click on this blog post, you can see cliftonscott.com and then the post slug right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and set this up. So the first thing you need to do is, and like I said, I'm going to use GoDaddy as an example because it's the most popular and that's the one that I use. Now if you use a different domain registrar, so if you bought your domain through One-on-One, HostGator, there's so many different domain registrars out there that you can purchase your domains from, but they all are basically the same. The steps are going to be similar, but each of them have their own different user interface, so you may have to do a little digging around. I'm sure that the website has a tutorial on how to do it, but you could probably follow these steps here that I've laid out for you for GoDaddy and be able to figure out if you're using a different website to manage your domain. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is head over to GoDaddy.com and log in. So I've logged into my account here, and GoDaddy is constantly changing all the time. So what you need to do is just after you log in, you need to visit your account. So once I logged in, I clicked on visit my account, and then the next thing I did was click on launch. So here's domains. I'm going to launch my domain manager. So by clicking on that, it launches my domain manager, and then I find my domain that I want to edit. Once you find the domain that you want to edit, you'll be taken to the domain details page or the domain control panel, and it'll look something similar to this if you're using GoDaddy.com. In this example, I'm just going to use my domain arriveby30.com. Okay, so on this page, I'm going to click on the DNS zone file. I'm going to let my DNS zone file load. Okay, now the first one is I'm looking for the A host. Okay, I'm looking for the A record. Alright, so I need to change this IP address. Now if I go back over to my instructions, you can see I've already gone through all of these steps. I've gone to my account. Step 3, I've clicked the launch button. Step 4, I found my custom domain. Step 5, I've clicked on the DNS zone file tab. Then I've clicked on the edit button. So let's see where, okay, so here's the edit button. So I'm going to click on edit. This is actually going to open up the zone record file for me to be able to edit it. If I go back to here, alright, click on the file's A IP address. So that would be the A records IP address. It is probably at the top. So let's see, here it is. So here is my A record. and it points to this IP address. So I need to change this IP address. To change it, all I need to do is just click on it, and it's going to become, I'm going to be able to edit it right there. So let me go back here and edit the IP address to point to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy, come back here, I'm going to click on it again, and I'm going to, let's see, let me paste. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I pasted it. Now I just clicked off of it and added it there, but I have to save it. So if I go back here, it will say, okay, leave the TTL to 1 hour. So yours might be in seconds, depending on who's managing your domain. GoDaddy uses hour, but it's more common to see it displayed in seconds. Let's see. So if I go back here, all right, click the Save Zone File button, which is right up here. Now remember, your domain management website might be different than GoDaddy, so but more likely than not, you're probably using GoDaddy.com. So just follow these instructions. I'm going to click Save Zone File. You're about to modify your existing zone file. Are you sure you want to save these changes? Now, before I click OK, I want to tell you that if you have another website currently at this domain, you will not be able to access that domain or that website anymore through this domain. So if I had a website for arriveby30.com, if I already had a website built there and I updated its A record, I would no longer be able to access that previous website. This domain will now take me to my ILN blog. So I'm going to click OK. Save, and it says these changes usually take an hour. However, it may take up to 48 hours. Typically, I have never seen it take longer than an hour. Sometimes it's even instantly. So that's the last thing. Now, only thing that I need to do here is come back here. I just need to type it in. Arrive by 30.com. Alright, that's it. Only when you put in the domain, don't put anything after. There's nothing after that. It's just the domain name. That's it. And then click Add. Alright, success. It's added it right there. Now let's click on it and see if it's already been updated. Yep, look at that. It's already updated it. So arriveby30.com. So it says it may take up to an hour. It just totally depends. So if I click on this first post, you can see arriveby30.com / and then here's the post slug.